Hey everyone, Brittany Harlow here, Verified News Network. Thank you for tuning in to VNN Live. Here we are, another Wednesday night. If you are new to the Verified News community, welcome. We are all about independent news and getting together and talking about important issues. We are headquartered in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where I am, but we have journalists all over the country. First and foremost, if you want to be a part of the conversation, I strongly encourage you to do so. You can drop something in the chat. We're live streaming on TikTok as well if you want to weigh in to the topic of the night. But anyway, bharlow@verifiednews.network. If you want to send us an email, give us a shout out about this topic, last week's topic, or just any concern or any thoughts that you have about news. You can also drop them into the chat on YouTube. So thank you for that. What I typically do is I'll go through the app and basically what we have going on this week as far as news. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up on our awesome broadcasting software. Shout out to StreamShirt. I don't know if you guys are watching. They are the ones who really got me into live streaming and staying updated. And I am so excited to be able to share this software and these cool graphics that we take the time to put together, all to present and showcase our work that we're working really hard on. I pulled it up on the YouTube right there, app.verifiednews.network is where you can find all the information about the stories that we're putting together. Last two stories up there. The top one was from the Oklahoma Department of Transportation. Underneath that is a story that we always share at the beginning of every month from the Oklahoma Department of Tourism, just basically talking about cool festivals and events that are happening in Oklahoma this month. We got our Weather Across America, the latest story from Muskogee Media, which is the independent news network for the Muskogee Nation. And then underneath that, the last story that we published in the Love and Protect series, thanks to our awesome sponsor in Henrietta, Oklahoma, KO Fitness and Firearms. Those stories are really awesome, and we're so thankful for them to be putting those together. For me, it was a crazy day. I had an interview that I had, the latest story series that I'm working on for the April Wilkins case. So I had that going on today. We took care of some business. I'm onboarding more journalists across the country to share more local news stories. But I wanted to jump into the topic of the night, which is, why do we care about VR? And I'll throw up this graphic. It's one of the probably newest thing that you've seen popping up on VNN, which is called Metaverse Adventures. If you follow us on TikTok, you've probably seen a couple VR metaverse stories. And then, of course, we do the live streaming from the metaverse periodically. And we started doing these, and I'm actually going to try to interact with our app here online and see how this goes, because when you pull up the app, again, app.verifiednews.network, let's see if I can interact with it here. You're able to search all right. And so we've done a good amount of stories on virtual reality. We've done some stories on Web3. We've done stories on Discord, on crypto, on NFTs, and of course the just the metaverse in general, when kind of kicked off when Facebook, right? Not called Facebook anymore, but Meta changed their name from Facebook to Meta. And this kind of industry pivot, they've obviously been, they purchased the Oculus, that company. They've been working on this for a while, creating this huge VR world, Horizon Worlds, and kind of just really trying to get control of this whole space. But obviously it's very uncontrolled because it is the real metaverses, as they say, is not owned by a a huge company like Meta. They are uh, people, just people developing and building worlds and building metaverses and building all these things and open source technology. And so I'm going to stop myself right there because I am not tech. I helped develop this social media platform that was developed exclusively for verified news. I didn't code it. I really tried to because developers are very expensive, but I didn't. I hired someone and paid a lot of money to a bunch of different people to develop this platform. And I tried coding because I wanted to save myself that cash, but I'm not a math brain. I'm a writer and I'm a journalist first, and it was just incredibly hard to wrap my head around it. It's like, I never caught on to speaking another language. I only speak English, and I tried speaking French a lot when I was in high school, and I took that class. Um, even tried learning Spanish later in college. Languages didn't stick, and coding is just another language that did not stick for me. So I couldn't understand it, and I would love to, and maybe I just got to revisit it again. But this whole world of this VR technology is really interesting, and it kind of goes back to, that movie Ready Player One, right? A lot of people, you watch this, you probably saw it. It was super cool. And, the idea of that is what life is like in the future. Hopefully, it's not that much like Ready Player One, that everyone is living in this alternate metaverse. Um, but, I mean, that is very realistic as to how involved the people on this planet are going to be in that virtual reality technology. I was speaking with some people about like what they thought was like the amount of people that are involved in VR and go into VR worlds and the metaverses and have like this technology that they're a part of. And it was something like, yeah, I don't know any French. I'm just glancing at the comment there. I don't. Je m'appelle Brittany is pretty much the only thing that I could think of off of the top of my head. um, but they had said something like there's only 10% of the entire world. And I mean, I guess 10% of the world seems like a really big number when you're talking about the entire planet. But that means that there's still like 90% of the planet who are not into VR, who have never touched a VR and don't know anything about that. And so we at VNN, Verified News Network, are this independent, collaborative platform of journalists like myself and other types of users. We are really still trying to find our feet and our place in the world. There's a lot of startups, and a lot of them fail. And being in this for 4 years, probably the only reason why I haven't failed as a news startup yet is because I'm incredibly stubborn. I created this platform. I left the television station. I left, the other traditional media behind, and I started this digital platform because I love news, I love storytelling, and I hated working at a TV station where I was forced to tell news stories to one audience, when there's a lot of different perspectives that were being missed, a lot of in-depth reporting that was, not getting done. But I didn't want to give up news, so I just started my own platform for essentially myself, and then it just grew to offering it to other people to partner and collaborate. And it's this beautiful thing, and it's still very much of work in progress and growing. But that being said, we are still constantly testing out new technologies and new platforms and new social medias and experiences and tech to kind of find like a really good grip. And so I came across VR, and I'm an entrepreneur, obviously I'm a journalist, but as a news entrepreneur with this, I came across some really cool people who were like, oh, are you into crypto? Which I have been into crypto for like the last 5 years. And when I say into it, I mean like buying and selling We do mining on the side that we've gotten into the last couple of years, and it's just a really cool technology. And again, the blockchain, you know, Bitcoin, Ethereum, how it works. I have studied it and I've worked with it for the last couple of years, but even I still have like a lot. It's very technical and complicated. Like I couldn't code anything to do any of these things, but that's okay. And that's kind of my big, really long roundabout way of saying, like, you don't have to be a tech brain. You don't have to know how to code. You don't have to know all of these things, even though this space is built off of people who do know those things. Um, I think that um, it should be for everyone and available to everyone and made so that everyone can understand it. And that's pretty much my role as a journalist, is to help people understand very complicated matters, because we're all very busy people, doing a million different things, work, family, whatever else that we care about. We don't have time to sit and become experts about anything. And that's why I like to think of myself not only as a storyteller, but also kind of like a conduit that helps everyone understand very complicated issues. And so that is a big reason of why I wanted to take our network into caring about VR. Because just because we're journalists and we're writers, and maybe we're not coders or tech people, engineers, it doesn't mean that we can't be a part of this VR space and that we can't understand it. And I was like, I'm not going to buy an Oculus. I'm going to throw something up on here. As far as it was very random that I came into contact through wanting to shoot a story about the metaverse and VR technologies, and kind of segueing into getting involved, that I came across this place in Veneta, Oklahoma, which, if you're not from Oklahoma, you may not know that it's a very small town, and it's pretty much in the country, but there's this whole like world there of VR. And so I'm going to throw it up on the screen here of what it looks like there at VRXP in Veneta, Oklahoma. If you are unaware, this is some shots of us gaming there. I've taken people there. I spent a lot of time there. I know the owner, Steve. We've, worked together getting our VR up. And it's just a really cool experience. The amount of technology he has is quite a bit. But he was like, and he was not the only person either that told me, that was like, you need to get an Oculus. And I was like, no, I'm not going to get an Oculus. I don't need to do that. I'm going to just, come here. And the more I was like, I do really like this technology. I do want to see how far that we can take it with our news organization. And so I did end up getting an Oculus. And then I was like, okay, this isn't enough. We need more. And so we built a VR computer, and we got the cables so that we could actually go into the real metaverse. And so we did that, and we tested that out. And I'm not going to lie, like, it is very hard. It was very hard. It's very difficult to get integrated into these different metaverses and into these different games and figure out how they work. That being said, like, I spent like 3 hours one night trying to figure out this one metaverse, and it was pretty tricky. And you get in there, and it's pretty basic. I go from like Horizon Worlds, which is the Facebook metaverse, to this other metaverse. And it's just so interesting, and it was complicated, but I figured it out. I figured everything out that I wanted to figure out that night. And my idea is that if I can figure it out, and it takes me and our tech department 3 hours to get going, how much time could I save someone else if they are wanting to get started and into this technology? And so my big plans, why do we care about VR? Well, it's media. When you talk about even for news media, whatever we're doing is news related. So whether it's making videos, sharing photos, writing stories, like if media in general and technology and interacting with people in general is moving in the direction um, of VR, then so is news. And that is why it's really important. It's not a space that a lot of news people are really living in right now. And when I launched this network 4 years ago with the initial goal of creating social media that was designed exclusively for verified news so that people could go to our platform and know that everything there is being moderated by the community, that there's real journalists that are making sure that everything is legit and right, that it would be um, a really good place for news to live. And so if the world is moving in the direction of VR, I want to make sure that news and information um, is also moving in that direction, revolutionizing news media. That means staying ahead with all of the local technologies, all of the developing technologies as people are getting involved there, and being able to meet people and inform them, not just about tech, but things that are happening um, in their own communities still, where they're actually living. And so we have a lot of big goals, a lot of dreams that we're thinking about doing. I'm super excited about creating news studios in different worlds. If you haven't seen already, we have already started um, doing metaverse adventures, which is uh, going into worlds and live streaming those experiences. I went to a nightclub, I went to a comedy club. The next place that I want to go is a metaverse called Neos, which I created and accessed finally a couple of nights ago. They're also going back to Horizon Worlds. There's this place called Questies that I want to go in, which is like their new arcade that is completely in virtual reality. So one of the things that we're doing too is asking people to, if they're curious, if they want to see us go somewhere in the metaverse, to give us a shout out, what metaverse they want us to go into, what worlds they want us to go into, what kind of experiences they want to see, how to do the technology if they want to get started with it. We have a lot of experts in the VR space, the Web3 space, the crypto space that we have kind of gotten involved with. And so we have all of those people at our disposal to talk to people. And again, my big thing is I kind of feel like I'm a pretty daring person. I put myself out there all the time, always in very awkward situations, saying things that sometimes people don't like to hear, giving a voice to people who don't have one. And I gotta say, it's awkward for me doing this VR. Like, even though you're behind a computer screen with an avatar, you're still interacting with real humans, um, across the entire world. And it's kind of scary. And like I said, awkward. It's just like the word that keeps coming to mind. It's super awkward. But my idea is that if you can watch some of our live streams, watch some of these experiences, kind of get an idea of how it works, how we're going from one place to another, how to do certain things. We've had a lot of weird, crazy mess ups and things going awry and going wrong. We've met some real weirdos, for a lack of a better term. But for every oddball that we meet in the metaverse, we meet more people that are really cool and helpful and like very kind. And it's been really cool experience every time that I've gone into a metaverse world. So I'm really excited about where our network is going to go next. Again, we had some really cool partnerships in Veneta, Oklahoma, the VRXP. I'm going to throw this up on the screen one more time. Look at, that's me, but how cool this technology is. We had such a fun time. Go to our Facebook, go to our Twitter, go to our Instagram, sign up for our email list. just go around and look for this contest that we're running, which is going to be announced in 2 days. Winners here for you in Oklahoma. We're giving away 4 people passes. That's not too confusing. I guess I could say we're giving 2 2-hour passes for 4 people each, giving both of those away on Friday. There's a bunch of different ways that you can sign up if you're in Oklahoma to get a piece of that action. That means you, 3 other people, go to the VRXP for 2 hours on VNN through this giveaway that we're doing. All you have to do is find the post on social media and like it, share it, and check out our different campaigns. And all of these are different ways that you could be entered to win. We're going to be giving, again, 2 of those gift certificates away this Friday, 2 2-hour passes, 4 people each, to the VRXP in Veneta, Oklahoma. And it is, again, pretty cool place. I'm still going to go back there. It's really fun on, my own Oculus, but it is really cool meeting this guy, Steve. We did a story on him too. And I want to say that, I don't know if it's still up there, but yeah, Virtual Reality Center withstands pandemic, achieves lifelong dreams. That is the story that we did about them. Let me see if I can interact with it and actually click on it. Yeah. Can I scroll? No, it doesn't let me scroll in OBS. I haven't figured that one out. But check out that story. It's all about him and this virtual reality gaming center. He has I think that he said something like up to 8 people at a time can game there in VR. He got me into a lot of different cool games. So definitely check that out. And I want to know what your questions are again. So please give me a shout out. I'm going to throw that up on there, be a part of the conversation. I want to know, I can tell already that our streams in the metaverse have been pretty popular thus far. So I'm really excited about that. People just living vicariously through my avatar, living vicariously in these metaverse worlds. And so it's really cool being able to be with me live. I have someone there that is going to be like reading comments and asking questions, and anything that you got, we want to hear about it. Email bharlow@verifiednews.network. Please subscribe to our channel here on YouTube at Verified News Network. Also, we got the TikTok going. Please also follow us there. We post updates. We have a lot of cool stories coming up. The most important thing in our pipeline right now is the April Wilkins case. We're going to be reporting on that extensively starting next week, giving some more updates, some things never shared before. And this news is some things that have never been talked about by news media, and you'll find out why. Just read the April Wilkins story that we had done before. But I hope that this has given you guys some kind of an idea of why VR is important to us and why we really love just this technology reporting, getting involved, getting you involved. We're still going to be, in addition to overall revolutionizing news media with our work in Web3 and VR, still going to be reporting our local stories, still going to be telling stories that no one else is telling here in Oklahoma and beyond. And again, just bringing it to you and bringing it to more people through this kind of revolutionary work that we're doing in news media. So super excited. We're here working for you. We want to answer your questions. We want to report on the stories that you want to hear about. All it takes is emailing us and messaging us, giving me a shout out on any of these platforms. Just go to verifiednews.network. I'll throw it up on the screen one last time, and hit that get involved button, and that is where you can find links to our Discord, to our YouTube, to our app, where you can even register an account and start weighing in on the comments there. We have a lot of cool games, projects going on. So I just want to say thank you so much for being a part of VNN Live. We're excited to be with you and working on these stories. And just, we can't thank you enough for supporting our work for the last 4 years, whether you've been here since the beginning or you're just joining us. Thank you for being a part of local news and support for journalism that actually matters. All right. So I'll catch you guys next week. We do these live streams on YouTube every Wednesday night, God willing. And then, of course, we pop in with Metaverse Adventures as we can. So subscribe to our channel, and then that is the best way to get notified when we're going live with the Metaverse Adventures so that you can join us in the Metaverse wherever we're going that night. Okay, guys, for VNN, I'm Brittany Harlow. Thank you so much, Verified News Community. I'll catch you guys next time.